Hey the rulers, DMO73 here, bringing you the deck profile for Patrick Ogrentz Aimul, Diversity Aimul ramp flip deck. Let's go ahead and jump right in.
This session brought to you by Odyssey Games for pre-orders and sealed product, CCG Prime for tons of singles and supplies, Cardo Doko for international rulers looking for product, and FoulLibrary.com for articles and wonderful deck lists.
As well as our guest lecturer members, Vite Ramen, King Pearl Shine, and Mognite. So
Class
here is the
session.
list. It has kind of been streamlined. Patrick admitted after the fact that when we were playing, his deck was playing a lot more like silver bullety kind of flips that ultimately are probably best to keep in the sideboard and then bring in based on what matchups you're playing, and so that your hits are more consistent off of the Aimul. So keep that in mind, that this is kind of why it's been updated. So we're doing a lot of things to kind of bank will into future turns to make it feel like it's good to be able to flip Aimul early and repeatedly and often, and that's kind of why we're going the route we have. And obviously we want to flip Aimul as much as possible so then we can, you know, get more value out of it. So we're playing things like 4 copies of Flute, because this can turn into turn 1 will, turn 2 turn 1.5 an additional 2 will, because of Aimul's ability to recover a Resonator, which is super cool. We're also playing 4 copies of Tea Party, and then also Life-Stealing Altar, which is helpful to be able to ramp us stones when we're flipping with Aimul. Playing 2 copies of Atlas Zeus Incarnate and 2 copies of Kingdom of Diversity Light Palace. This is so that you can easily, you know, have that everything's huge with as we've seen before with Zeus Atlas before. You can also consider playing Campanella in the main board to be able to have another essentially additional versions of Atlas Zeus Incarnate to like go grab Atlas Zeus Incarnate, because Campanella, the Milky Way moon, can grab a water moon card, and Atlas counts as a moon when she's in the deck. So that's an easy way to get that there as well. We're also playing 4 copies of Guardian Dragon, as it's an excellent body to flip into and gets us a stone, 3 copies of Athenia, and 2 Aphrodite. These work really nicely along with the fact of the Tea Parties to potentially give them quick cast in hand. 3 copies of Duet of Lights, excellent ways to be able to reanimate stuff as well as generate additional +1/+1 counters. A single Pumpkin Witch, because like you can play Pumpkin Witch in the main board and sometimes hit it and then suddenly have swiftness off of the Aimul, which is kind of neat. We're playing 3 copies of Witch of the Fallen Kingdom, 2 copies of Rayman as well. It's another great 3-drop to be able to hit. A couple copies of Absorbing Knowledge here to be able to kill our own Aimul. And then lastly, we're Judgmenting a lot, so we have a J rule a lot. So Arthur, the Space-Time Knight, can really help here to be able to draw 2 cards and put 1 back on top, or draw 3 cards and put 2 back on top, so you can kind of set up your ways to be able to control the deck. Another thing to keep in mind here is potentially playing Lancelot for the same kind of reason. Lancelot can be great spot removal in the form of you have a J ruler, so it only costs 1 blue, and then you get access to being able to pop stuff, bounce it to the bottom of the deck, which is very nice. Stone-wise, 4 Moonshade, 3 Wanderer Stone, 2 Cat Stone, and 2 Water Moon Fragment. The fact that Aimul's Judgment is double white means that, you know, you're pretty much always going to be able to flip on this whenever you need to. And then there's a couple other options in terms of like Brad or Angelic Battle Barrier. It's just other things that you can play in the sideboard. Oh, as well as those Silver Bullet type cards, like things like the Valentina that we saw, or, you know, Campanella if you feel like you really need to go aggressive to get the Diversity Palace combo off quickly. There's all kinds of different options that you could play that could be fit into this deck, and that's kind of the fun of Aimul. But that is it for now. A huge thanks to Patrick for jamming with us and showing us the kind of the updated version of this list. You can check a link to it in the description below to see it over on Force of Wind yourself. Let us know how you've been playing Aimul or what you want to try to do with her in the new sets. And until next time, this is GMO73 saying class dismissed.